Hello guys, and welcome to another F1 2016 career mode. Today we are in Monaco for round 6 and we're just finishing off the track acclimatization program, getting a perfect score there, so that's some nice resource points for the car for that one. We are now going to be moving on to the tyre management program, so we're going to be getting a pass on that one, I think, so just stacking up the resource points to upgrade that engine for the next few rounds. Starting to get a few upgrades done, so it's going quite well at the moment. And finally, on to the last practice program, which is the qualifying pace, and we're going to hit a perfect on that one as well, so some nice upgrade points there. In Q1 now, you see one of the Renaults there getting in the way of us there, getting a bit of damage, but we managed to still put in a lap, and that puts us into second place in Q1, so that should see us through there. And as you can see, we dropped down to 10th, which is quite surprising, but we do get through into Q2. So moving on into Q2, and we're going to try and put in a good lap there to see us through into the final qualifying. We go through that last part of the track there quite nicely, get a good run out, and it's going to put us into third place there. So that sees us through into Q3 in 8th place. And finally, for Q3, to decide our qualifying position, we're going to be up on our best time at the moment, and we're going to put in a 1:15.7, I think that was, or 0.6, putting us into 4th place there. So a very nice starting position on the grid.
Take a deep breath and enjoy the moment. It's a very special time of the season once again, as we prepare for racing here this afternoon. There's no better test of driver, no more prestigious race to win, no bigger an occasion than the Monaco Grand Prix. With that then, let's run through...
So we are going to be going on a one-stop strategy, the Ultra Softs onto the Super Softs, and we're also going to be taking the fuel down quite low there, just on the edge of how much we can use without having to fuel save. So here we go, we're going to try and get a good start. We're going to take it quite easy into the first corner because we don't really want any big incidents really. The last few rounds we have had problems with being pushed into walls by some certain cars, but we managed to get through there all nice and tidy. Had to give up a position to Rosberg, but I'll take that in avoiding some damage. So just going to try and keep it clean all the way through this first section, just let everyone calm down a bit. Looks like everyone's actually got through that first section of the track there and no incidents, which is quite surprising. But we will stay in 5th place there, it looks like, and this is where we will probably settle down a bit and just chill out. So skipping to the end of lap 1, we get quite a good run out of there, just behind Rosberg in his slipstream, and of course we're going to make a move down the inside there. Nice move there, nicely done, and we're through into 4th place, back up into our original position. So skipping on to lap 13 now, we kind of got stuck in the middle of nowhere like we normally do. We're in 3rd place because Raikkonen pitted quite early on. So Vettel, Hamilton managed to pull away from me. I've got Ricciardo on my back and I was just losing time. Just couldn't really get my tyres working. They were starting to get a bit worn, so I decided to come in, go for the super soft, and we'll probably have to make 2 stops now, but I think it will be faster overall in the long run. So a 3-second stop there, not brilliant from the team, but where is it going to put us out? It looks like we're going to come out in 9th place behind Raikkonen. But he did stop about 3 laps earlier, so it was a big undercut he would have got. So our job now is to try and catch up with Raikkonen and just to try and close that gap down. So moving on to lap 15 now, it only took us a lap and we've managed to, I think that's Ricciardo who has actually got the undercut. And there is going to be a safety car, so that may help us close that gap, or it will help us close that gap. So that is going to be very handy there, saves us a lot of time in having to close that gap to Raikkonen. But I'm surprised that Ricciardo got the undercut on us because we were about half a tenth ahead of him when we came into the pits. But we're going to try and take a few positions into this first corner off the start of the safety car. See if we get a good run. I wasn't really getting the exit of that corner very well throughout the whole race really, so as you can see Ricciardo really pulling away there. So it looks like we're going to have to settle for 6th place at the moment, and I think it's going to be like that for quite a while because we just don't seem to have the pace on these super soft tyres. Not sure what it is, we just couldn't get them working. I don't know, I wasn't hitting my apexes brilliantly. So we move on to lap 26 now, so 7 laps it's taken us to close this gap up to a position where we can actually make a move. We managed to get into the DRS for the first time, but again, they just seem to be getting a better run out of that corner. We're going to take a late dive down the inside of Ricciardo, managed to make the move stick there. Very risky move, but Ricciardo did leave the door open, and you don't have to give me more than one chance. So on to lap 27 now, coming up to the end of the lap. We are still behind Raikkonen. Raikkonen's going to come into the pits there, so I think I'm going to cover him on that next lap. I don't want him to get a big undercut and start gaining on us. So I think the plan is going to be to come in at the end of this lap. Hopefully we can keep Ricciardo behind us, but I'd also like to just say, how is Gutierrez in 3rd place there? Incredible drive from the Haas there. So, on to lap 28 now. In 4th place, and it looks with very worn tyres there, 50% on the front 2 tyres, so we're going to come into the pit, whack on a set of ultra soft tyres. With 11 laps left, that's probably almost optimum distance for these ultra softs to go. Means I can push really hard, and hopefully we can close this gap back down to the leaders. We're going to come out in about 9th, 10th place. As you can see, Raikkonen has just got past, so I'm going to hopefully get out in front of the Renault. Otherwise that could be a bit of a problem. Are we going to get out in front of the Renault? No, and the Williams gets past as well there. Verstappen behind as well, so we've dropped down to 12th place there. Hopefully we can dispatch of these front 2 cars quickly, because that Renault seems to be quite slow. So that's going to be the plan. And to lap 29, it looks like we're going to make a late move down the inside there, and it just about makes it stick on Bottas there. Looks like Bottas did have a spin. He might have driven into me, but I don't know. That was another very late move. I just was getting a bit annoyed that I had been stuck behind those 2 cars. And there you could see, I think it was Magnussen, you can see in my rear wing there, that I think it was Magnussen and Bottas going 2 abreast into the hairpin there. But we move up into 9th place, just sliding down the inside of Raikkonen there. And there is quite a large queue of cars here. I think it's Sainz, and it looks like Hulkenberg, and I'm not sure who is at the front. I think it might be Alonso at the front of this queue, holding them up a bit. But with 5 laps to go, we're going to have to try and get past as quickly as possible. And at the end of lap 34, it looks like we're going to make a move. Maybe. Taking a look around the outside, and then I think... Oh, that's a bit of a dodgy move there, but Sainz did leave the door open. So that did give us that run. So up to 8th place now. We're starting to make some rather risky moves, but they are paying off. We are managing to cut through the pack quite quickly. And on lap 35, we have got quite a nice run on Hulkenberg in his slipstream. That Force India has got a lot more power than the Honda, but we are much better on the brakes there, even though that is a huge corner cut. Don't know how I didn't get a penalty for that, but we'll take it. Move up into 7th place now. So, just our teammate in front of us now, stopping us from 6th place, and that was an absolutely terrible move. But Alonso doesn't get any damage, I don't get any damage, so nothing too bad there. Now, lap 37, as you can see, the rain has started coming down quite severely, and we are going to have to come into the pits and change onto Inters. So, a 3-stop race for Monaco is quite surprising. I haven't seen that many times in the last few years. But it seems that the weather just wasn't holding out for long enough. So I decided to come in, put on a set of Inters. Hopefully I can gain an advantage on the front 5 cars. And that would be nice if we can just close that gap up. But with 2 laps to go, I don't really see us doing much in the way of getting into the top 5, to be honest. So I think it's just going to be try and keep the car on the track for the last 2 laps and bring it home for a nice points finish at 6th place. As you can see there, who is that? It's either Nasser or Ericsson going sideways around that corner. Bit of Tokyo drift going on there. So on to lap 39 then. We did make up a position up into 5th. I think it was someone having a pit stop. So 5th place I am not disappointed in, really. That's a good finish for the McLaren Honda. Verline in the Marussia coming in 4th place there, and Esteban Gutierrez getting a 3rd place there. So very good points for those two teams. We're going to pick up 10 points there, and that is not a bad result for the McLaren Honda around Monaco. So we can take some good points there into the next round, and that's going to move us up into 6th place there. We overtake Valtteri Bottas in the championship, only 3 points behind Kimi Räikkönen now. So going quite well in this series at the moment there. The McLaren in 4th place in the constructors there. Me and Fernando doing pretty well, managing to beat both the Williams and the Force India there, which is very good indeed.
Hey, you'll like this. I just got out of a meeting with the boss and, well, congratulations. You've done a great job. Here,